Tonight I want you to see what has been hidden in plain sight, the nearness of your fulfilled desire. You imagine your dream as though it were distant, as though it stood somewhere on the far horizon waiting for you to reach it. Yet what I tell you now is this. Your dream is already here. It is closer than your breath. You have wrapped it in the disguise of time and distance. And because you believe in that disguise, you do not see it. Tonight we will strip away that disguise and you will see that you are nearer to the realization of your dream than you have ever allowed yourself to believe. There's the illusion of distance. You believe you are separated from your desire by space, by time, by circumstance, and so you live as though what you want were a far country. You wake each day and look for signs that it is coming, and when the signs do not appear, you conclude it must be far off. I tell you tonight, you are looking from the wrong place. You are looking from the state of not having, and from that state, all things appear distant. The very sense of distance is born from the assumption that you are not yet what you wish to be. The mind is a magnificent trickster. It convinces you that what is already present must be chased. It paints pictures of waiting, striving, preparing, proving, earning, and you accept them as truth. Yet all these motions are shadows cast by a single false premise, that the desire is not here. I say to you, if you were to assume for even one moment that your desire were already accomplished, you would see that the sense of distance collapses instantly. For distance is not measured in miles, but in states. You are never far from what you want. You are only far from thinking from it. When I speak of states, I speak of conditions of consciousness. You wear them as you wear garments. Today you wear the garment of lack, and the world arranges itself to prove you lack. Tomorrow you wear the garment of possession, and the world proves you possess. The substance of the world bends itself to the garment you wear within. If you persist in the state of longing, the world must appear to keep your dream at arm's length. If you persist in the state of having, the world must bend and fold itself to place that dream in your hand. This is the law of consciousness. You are not traveling through space to reach your goal. You are shifting states. Imagine two radio stations, each broadcasting on its own frequency. You do not walk from one station to the other. You do not build a road between them. You change the dial. And the moment you change the dial, the previous station vanishes and the new one fills the air. Where did the first go? It still exists, but not for you, because you no longer occupy its frequency. So it is with state. The moment you occupy the state of your fulfilled desire, the old state disappears from your experience. The world reorganizes itself around the new signal you broadcast, but you resist this simplicity. Because you trust your senses more than your imagination. You see an empty bank account and you say, wealth is far away. You see an empty bed and you say, love is far away. You see an empty calendar and you say, success is far away. All the while the wealth, the love, the success are already contained within you as states of being, waiting for your recognition. You make them seem distant by calling them future. You postpone their arrival by expecting them to arrive. Expectation implies absence. Assumption implies presence. If you expect, you confess you do not yet possess. If you assume, you claim it now. This is why I tell you, assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, not the feeling of hoping for it, but the feeling of having it. What would you feel if you knew beyond question that your desire were now accomplished? What relief, what gratitude, what quiet certainty would fill you? That feeling is the key. Enter it, and you dissolve the illusion of distance. Consider this. You are not aware of your body as distant from itself. You do not think of your hands as something you must reach. They are here, part of you. If your dream were truly part of your being, you would not feel the need to reach for it. You would simply express it. So the task is not to draw the dream to you, but to incorporate it into your sense of self. Say within, I am this now. Do not add conditions. Do not say, I will be this when the world allows it. The world will never allow it until you allow it within. Every transformation begins invisibly. The world will not give you permission to believe until you believe without its permission. Do not wait for the evidence. Evidence is the echo, not the cause. The cause is your assumption. And that assumption can be made this very instant. Let the senses scream that nothing has changed. Let the world parade its contradictions. You remain unmoved. For you know that what is seen is born from the unseen. You plant the seed and you do not dig it up tomorrow to check if it has sprouted. You know it grows beneath the surface. So too your assumption grows beneath the surface of appearances, and its fruit will appear when the time is full. Many fail because they try to move the outer world while standing in the same inner state. They push and pull and strive, but they never change the route. They build elaborate plans, yet all plans conceived from the state of not having only perpetuate not having. You cannot outwork a state. You can only outgrow it. To move from lack to abundance, from loneliness to love, from obscurity to recognition, you must abandon the old state entirely. Not gradually, not partially, entirely. Step out of it as you would step out of an old coat. Leave it behind and wear the new. And when you wear the new, walk as though it were natural. This is the great art. To inwardly accept the dream as ordinary. Do not exalt it. Do not make it distant by worshipping it. Speak of it within yourself as something already familiar. If you make it extraordinary, you place it on a pedestal, and all pedestals imply distance. Treat it as near, treat it as here, treat it as yours. Then the world will have no choice but to treat it the same. The outer journey is a mirage. The only real journey is from the old state to the new. And that journey takes no time. It is done in an instant the moment you dare to believe. In that instant the illusion of distance dissolves. The dream you thought lay years ahead was never ahead at all. It was here, wrapped in the veil of your disbelief. Tear away that veil now. Declare, I am. Not I will be, not I hope to be, but I. If you persist in this inner knowing, the world will rearrange itself with astonishing speed. People will appear, circumstances will shift, opportunities will unfold, and you will call it coincidence or luck. But it is neither. It is law, the law of your own being, responding to the state you have chosen. The dream will appear close, because it always was. Only your belief in distance kept it hidden. So tonight, I ask you to abandon the false map that has deceived you. Stop thinking of your desire as a destination. Stop postponing it into the future. Cease measuring its nearness by appearances. Instead, measure by feeling. Enter the feeling of already being. Live from that place. Think from that place. Speak from that place. And as you do, you will discover what I came here to tell you. You are not on the way to your dream. You are already standing where your dream begins, and the distance you feared was never real. Desire is proof of possession. You have been taught to mistrust your desires. The world tells you that to want is to lack. That desire is evidence of distance. That yearning is proof of absence. And so, when the longing rises in your heart, you treat it as a wound to be healed or a void to be filled. Yet I tell you tonight, your desire is not born of lack. Your desire is the evidence of possession. You could not want what was not already yours in the depth of your being. You could not hunger for what did not already exist within you. The seed does not long for the tree. The tree is already hidden within the seed. The desire for growth is not the cry of emptiness. It is the pressure of fullness seeking expression. So it is with you. When you feel the yearning for love, for abundance, for recognition, for freedom, these are not the cries of an empty soul. They are the stirrings of the hidden tree within you, pressing to break through the shell of your present state. Your desire is your future self, calling you from within, declaring, I am already here. Desire does not come from the outside world. It does not arrive from the air. It does not enter you from afar. It rises from your own depth, from the dimension of your being, where all things already exist. You think you must go out and fetch it, but you are only being summoned to awaken to what is already yours. That is why no desire can be foreign to you. If it were not yours, you could not recognize it. You do not desire what belongs to another. For in truth there are no others in consciousness. There is only the one being, wearing infinite masks. And when the desire appears in you, it is the one being revealing what it already is, as you. Look at the child who longs to walk. The longing is not proof that walking is far away. The longing is proof that the ability to walk is already within the child. The desire would not arise otherwise. It is the same with every desire you hold. The dream of writing, of painting, of leading, of loving. These are not fantasies dangled before you by a mocking universe. They are messages from your deeper self, telling you what you are meant to express. Desire is permission. Desire is prophecy. Desire is destiny whispering your name. But you have been conditioned to see desire as temptation, as a test, as something to suppress until the world approves. You wait for the evidence before you dare to believe. And because you wait, the evidence does not come. For evidence does not precede belief. It follows belief. Desire is not the enemy of faith. Desire is the fuel of faith. It is faith in embryo pressing to be born. The moment you accept that your desire is already yours, faith quickens, and the world begins to move. You say, but if it were mine, I would already have it. No, my friend. If it were not yours, you could not even imagine. The world of sense is only a delayed shadow of the world of imagination. What you call having in the outer world is simply recognizing in time what you already are in eternity. The outer follows the inner as surely as night follows day. To insist on seeing it first is to place cause in the shadow and ignore the light. The light is your assumption. The shadow is what you call reality. Desire is the inner announcement that you have already claimed the state in imagination. You felt its fragrance before you saw its flower. When the desire comes, say not, I hope this will be. Say, this is already mine. I would not desire it if it were not. And then live inwardly from that conviction. Let the outer world take its time. Let it be slow to catch up. You walk not by sight, but by faith. And faith is seeing what is not yet visible, because you know it is already true. Consider the artist who sees a painting in his mind. Before the canvas holds a single stroke, he has already seen the finished work. His desire to paint it does not mean it does not exist. It means it already exists within him, and longs to be seen. So he does not beg the world to give him a painting. He simply reveals what he already beholds. Your life is that canvas, and your desires are the images already complete within your imagination. They are not wishes. They are previews. If you could grasp this one truth, you would cease to doubt. You would never again say, will it come? You would say, it is already done. You would stop striving and start assuming. You would not chase. You would choose. For choosing is the true nature of desire. Desire says, this is who I am. When you honor it, you step into that identity. And when you step into that identity, the world must reflect it. It has no choice. The outer is a mirror, not a master. It cannot deny what you are being. Do not ask how it will come. The how is none of your concern. The bridge of events will form itself. Your task is only to accept the inner claim. When you claim it, you set the law in motion. The moment you say within, I am, all the powers of creation conspire to make it seen. And if you waver, if you doubt, if you return to the state of not having, the law waits patiently. It does not punish. It simply mirrors. When you return to the state of having, the law resumes its work. This is why the first act must always be inward. You think you must act outwardly to prove yourself worthy, to earn the dream, to demonstrate progress. But worthiness is not earned. Worthiness is assumed. You are worthy because you are. The desire proves it. The desire is the certificate of ownership. The world may not yet recognize it, but the world is slow. It moves at the speed of belief. Believe now, and the world will adjust. Wait for the world to move first, and you will wait forever. So when the desire arises, welcome it as a sign of possession, not lack. Cradle it as you would a child already born. Say to it, I know you, you are mine, you have always been mine. Then live each day as though you were simply unveiling what is already accomplished. Let the outer world chatter. Let it call you unrealistic. They said the same of every dreamer who ever changed the world. But the dreamer knows what the doubter cannot. Desire is not the hope of becoming. It is the memory of being. This is the secret. You are not chasing your dream. You are remembering them. You are not trying to create what does not exist. You are awakening what is already within you. The desire is the proof. The desire is the bridge. The desire is the voice of your fulfilled self calling you home. Answer it. Assume it. Become it. And you will see that what you thought was far away was never far at all. 3. The invisible bridge. There is a mystery that confounds the reasoning mind and yet serves the awakened imagination faithfully. It is the mystery of what I call the invisible bridge. When you assume the state of the wish fulfilled, when you dare to declare I am, though your senses deny it, a bridge of events begins to rise between where you appear to stand and where you have declared yourself to be. You do not see this bridge with mortal eyes, but it is there, and every step upon it is prepared the moment you take the first inward step. The human mind demands to know the route before it will move. It says, show me how it will come to pass, and I will believe. But the law of consciousness answers, believe, and you shall see. The bridge is invisible, because it is born not of calculation, but of assumption. You are not asked to build it with your effort. You are asked only to cross it with your faith. It forms itself in silence, through channels you could not design, through people you do not yet know, through coincidences too perfect to be called chance. When you stand in the end in imagination, you set forces in motion beyond the comprehension of the rational mind. Those forces arrange the pattern of your days into the shape of your assumption. But here is what you must understand. The bridge never appears until you assume the end. It is not built in advance and then offered to you as proof. It is born in the instant of your acceptance. If you wait to see the bridge before you believe, you will wait forever. For the bridge is not something you see and then cross. It is something you cross and then see. You meet it step by step, and it rises to meet your feet. This is why so many delay their dreams. They demand to see the whole map while still standing in the old state. Yet you cannot see the path from the old state. You can only see it from the new. Imagine a mountain cloaked in fog. From the base, the summit seems unreachable. But as you climb, new steps appear out of the mist. What was hidden becomes visible only as you advance. The bridge of events works in the same way. It will not unfold itself to the doubter at the base of the mountain. It will unfold itself to the believer who has already seen the summit within. The believer does not ask, will the steps appear? He knows they must, because he has already claimed the peak. His inward claim summons the outward steps. And know this, the bridge is always perfect. It may not appear perfect to your senses. It may seem crooked, unexpected, even disruptive. It may dismantle what you thought you needed. It may close doors you had planned to walk through. But it is perfect because it leads inevitably to the state you have assumed. Do not judge it while you stand upon it. You do not yet see the path. Every seeming detour is a straight line in disguise. Every interruption is an alignment. When you look back from the fulfilled state, you will marvel at how every moment, even the ones you called wrong, conspired to carry you here. You will be tempted to interfere. You will be tempted to force the outer world to match your inner vision. Resist that temptation. Your task is not to push events. Your task is to remain faithful to the state. The bridge builds itself when you rest in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. The moment you try to manipulate the bridge, you step off it. You return to the old state, and the building ceases. Stand still inwardly. Let the bridge carry you. You are not the builder. You are the traveler. The builder is your imagination, which is God in action. The bridge may carry you through scenes that contradict your desire. Do not be shaken. They are part of the rearrangement. The old state must dissolve as the new state emerges. The crumbling of the old is not failure. It is fulfillment. The storm that scatters the leaves is the same wind that clears the path for the new garden. Do not cry for the falling leaves. Rejoice, for they fall only because spring is near. When appearances seem darkest, the bridge is nearest completion. Hold to your assumption. Then with the greatest devotion, for you are being carried across unseen pillars, understand also that the bridge often begins with a single impulse. A gentle nudge. An idea that seems ordinary. You may call it coincidence. It is not. It is the bridge summoning you. A phone call you feel led to make. A book that falls open at the right page. A sudden urge to walk down a different street. These are the first planks of the invisible bridge. Do not ignore them because they seem small. The bridge is made of such small planks, laid end to end by the unseen hand of your deeper self. Follow them without anxiety, without analysis. Simply obey the inner promptings that arise once you have assumed the end. But take care. Do not mistake movement for progress. If the movement springs from fear, the bridge is effortless. If your steps are strained, you are not on the bridge. You are wandering in the old state. True movement from the bridge is marked by ease, by a quiet sense of rightness. Even if it seems illogical to the mind, you will feel this is mine to do, and though you may not know why, you will act. That is how the bridge works. It moves you without struggle, without calculation, without haste. The bridge needs no pushing. It pulls you. And once you begin, you cannot fail to reach the end. The bridge cannot break beneath you. It is fashioned out of the substance of your own assumption. And your assumption cannot betray you. Only you can betray it by abandoning it. Stay faithful. If you remain in the state, the bridge must complete itself. No power in the outer world can stop it. For the outer world is only the shadow of the inner. Shadows have no will of their own. They cannot defy the light that casts them. And the light is your imagination. So when you say, I do not see how this could happen, remember, you are not meant to see how. You are meant to see from. Stand in the end in your mind, and the how will appear in its own time as the bridge. Let others demand blueprints. You need none. Your blueprint is your assumption. Your foundation is your feeling. Your certainty is your vision. The bridge is invisible, yet it is the surest thing in the world. It has never failed anyone who has walked it, and it will not fail you. Walk it now. Close your eyes and enter the scene that implies your desire is already fulfilled. Hear what you would hear, feel what you would feel, see what you would see, and then rise from that inner world as though it were done. Live your outer days with the quiet knowing that the bridge is building itself beneath your steps. Do not demand its sight. Trust its strength. Trust the unseen more than the seen. The seen is only the past. The unseen is the future rushing to meet you, and soon what was invisible will become inevitable. 4. The invisible bridge between states. My friends, if you are willing tonight to listen, not simply to hear but to listen, you will find that you are far nearer to your fulfilled desire than your senses dare to admit. For the senses are the great deceivers. They give to you the appearance of distance, of delay, of separation. Yet I tell you, there is no distance to travel, no ladder to climb, no ocean to cross. Between where you stand now and where your fulfilled dream resides, there is only a shift in state, a movement of consciousness. And that movement is invisible to the world, yet mighty enough to redraw the entire pattern of your life. I want you to see this clearly. Every state is already existing. There is nothing to create. All is finished. Creation is complete. When you say, I want to become, you imply you are not. And as long as you persist in that confession, you will remain locked outside the state you seek. But if you dare to say from within, I am, then you have crossed the invisible bridge. The world may not yet reflect it, but the crossing is accomplished the moment you assume it inwardly. This invisible bridge is not made of effort or struggle. It is not made of time or logic. It is built only of acceptance. The instant you accept within yourself that you are now the one you long to be, you stand upon it. You do not walk toward the state. You walk in, and as you walk in it inwardly, the outer world, though seemingly stubborn, must bend, must reorganize itself, must conform to your new assumption. This is the law. You see, your present world is nothing more than the shadow cast by the state you presently occupy. Change the state, and the shadow must change also. It has no choice. So when you say, I will try harder, you are only wrestling with shadows. Stop wrestling. Change the light that casts the shadow, and the entire scene will alter of itself. This is the secret. Let me illustrate. Imagine a man who longs to be wealthy. He stands in poverty, looking out upon bills and lack. He says, one day, I shall be rich. And so he remains the man who will be rich, which is always tomorrow, never today. But if he dares to close his eyes and inwardly say, I am wealthy, and feels the thrill of it as though it were already true, he has crossed the invisible bridge. Nothing in the outer may change at first, but the state has changed. And because the state has changed, the bridge is crossed, and the world must by law echo that inner change in due season. This bridge, though invisible, is solid. It is more real than the chair upon which you sit. For the chair will crumble with time, but the state endures forever. And every event that seems to come to you comes only to the state you are in. So if you do not like the harvest you see, do not curse the field. Change the seed. The seed is your assumption. The soil is your own consciousness. Sow a new seed and walk away in faith. The harvest is certain. You may say, but Neville, I see no evidence. And I say, of course you see no evidence, for evidence belongs to the old state. Do not seek evidence. Evidence comes after faith, not before. First comes the inner leap, then comes the outer confirmation. The bridge appears only after you have already stepped upon it in imagination. Like a man walking into the mist, each plank appears beneath his feet as he dares to walk forward. If he waits to see the bridge before stepping, he will wait forever. The bridge is born of his step, and this is why so many remain where they are. They wait for the world to change before they change within. But the world is powerless to change first. It is only the mirror. The face must change before the reflection. So tonight, if you are willing to change the face you wear within, the self-concept you carry silently, then the reflection must obey you. This is the law of identical harvest. Be not deceived. God is not mocked. As a man sows, so shall he also reap. And what does he sow? Not effort, not labor, but assumption. He sows the seed of being. When I speak of assumption, I mean a bold acceptance of a new identity. Here and now, not I will be, but I. And if the mind protests and says, but it is not true, you answer, it is true in imagination. And imagination is the only reality. What you accept as true within must externalize. The delay is only the time it takes the old shadow to dissolve. But the new reality is already present, already finished, already yours. You are not creating it, you are awakening to it. So the invisible bridge is nothing more than this. The willingness to let go of your old state and to claim the new, to stop asking when will it come, and to begin saying, it is already done. This is the shift. This is the crossing. It is done in silence, in the secrecy of your own mind. No one sees you cross, but soon everyone will see the result. They will say, how did it happen? And you will know, I changed my state, and the world conformed. Do not try to drag the old state with you across the bridge. It cannot come. Old thoughts, old fears, old stories must be left behind. They do not belong in the new land. If you try to carry them, the bridge will not appear. You must abandon them. Like a man stepping from one shore to another, let the old shore sink behind you. Do not look back. The moment you look back, you turn to stone. This is the meaning of Lot's wife. She looked back and became fixed in the past. But you are not here to be fixed. You are here to move. You may ask, but what if I fail? And I tell you, you cannot fail unless you return to the old state. If you remain faithful to the new assumption, the world has no choice but to yield. The outer is helpless before the inner. This is the great secret men have forgotten. The world is not causative. It is only expressive. The cause is imagination. The cause is the state you occupy. Occupy a new state, and the effect must follow. There is no exception. Tonight choose the state you desire. Enter it in imagination. Feel it real. Walk in it inwardly as though it were already accomplished. Hear what you would hear. See what you would see. Touch what you would touch. If it were already so, and then rest. Rest in the knowing that it is done. This is how you cross the invisible bridge. Not with effort, not with willpower, but with acceptance. Say within yourself, it is finished, and live as though it were so. Soon, very soon, the world will rearrange itself. Events will move. People will appear. Doors will open. But do not be distracted by the how. The how is not your concern. Your only concern is the state. The bridge is invisible to the eyes, but unmistakable to the heart. When you feel the quiet certainty that it is done, you are already across. Stand there, stay there, live there, and the outer world must bow. Remember this, you are closer to your fulfilled dream than you think. For you are never far from any state. All states are near, and the distance between them is measured only by acceptance. Cross the invisible bridge tonight, and you will discover what the world calls miracles are only the shadows of your new state, taking form. This is the law. This is the secret. This is the bridge, and it is yours to cross now. The silent evidence of fulfillment. My friends, when I tell you that you are closer to your fulfilled desire than you believe, I am not offering you comfort. I am giving you a law, and the law is this. Consciousness is the only reality, and what you accept as true within must become visible without. Yet because the world has trained you to seek signs, you often stand waiting at the edge of your dream, peering outward for evidence while the evidence is being born within you in silence. The world thinks that evidence comes first and belief follows. But in truth, belief comes first and evidence follows like a shadow. The shadow cannot come before the object, and the outer cannot precede the inner. All manifestation begins as an invisible conviction. When you feel something to be true in the depth of your being, when you accept it as though it were already accomplished, you have planted the seed of its appearance. Now hear me well, the seed does not scream as it grows. It does not announce itself in the earth. It does not send you hourly reports of its progress. It germinates in silence, hidden from the eyes, but certain in its work. So it is with your assumption. When you assume that you are the man or woman you desire to be, that assumption begins at once to rearrange the pattern of your life. It works invisibly, silently, without spectacle. If you look outward for proof too soon, you will say nothing is happening, and you will pluck up the seed before it bears fruit. Patience is not waiting. Patience is trust. Trust is the refusal to abandon your inner knowing simply because your senses have not yet caught up. Senses always lag behind. They are delayed echoes. Do not judge your assumption by the present appearance, for appearance belongs to the past. You are not looking at what is. You are looking at what was. Your present world is the residue of former beliefs. If you accept this, you will stop trying to fix shadows and instead attend to the substance, the inner state. There is a moment when an assumption becomes so real to you inwardly that you feel a strange stillness. It is as though the world has already delivered it, though nothing outward has moved. That stillness is the silent evidence. That peace is the first sign of manifestation. It is the spiritual knowing that precedes all physical confirmation. The world may still contradict you, yet within you know it is done. That knowing is the secret. When you feel it, guard it. Do not argue with appearances. Do not defend it to others. Simply rest in it. The world will call this self-deception. Let them. They do not understand that imagination creates reality. They think facts are final. But facts are only frozen states of consciousness. They melt before a new assumption, as ice melts before the sun. So when the world mocks your inner knowing, smile. They are only seeing yesterday's harvest. You are planting tomorrow's. I tell you, the day will come when your silent knowing will become visible fact. And then they will ask, how did you do it? And you will answer, I assumed it real and persisted until it hardened into fact. This is how all things come to pass. There is no other way. The outer is compelled by the inner. This is the law. Do not confuse motion with progress. Many run about in frantic activity trying to make their dreams come true by force. But the dream does not yield to effort. It yields to acceptance. Motion is the language of the world. Stillness is the language of the spirit. It is in stillness that the seed grows. It is in stillness that the word becomes flesh. Cease from striving and enter the silence of knowing. Say within yourself, it is done. And let that be the end of all argument. I tell you a mystery. When you live from the end in imagination, life rearranges itself with uncanny precision to match your inner picture. People will move. Circumstances will shift. Events will conspire, and you will stand astonished saying, I did nothing. And you will be correct. You did nothing outwardly, you only changed within. And that invisible change drew to you all the visible forms required. Consider the sculptor who holds the finished image in his mind. He does not see stone. He sees the completed figure already within the stone. And because he sees it so vividly, his hands obey the vision. They remove all that does not belong. So too must you. Hold firmly the image of your fulfilled desire, not as a hope, but as an accomplished fact. Then let your words, your moods, your reactions begin to conform to that unseen reality. In time, the outer world will shed all that contradicts it, and only your vision will remain. And hear this well, you do not need to know how. The mind always asks, but how will it come? And this is the voice of doubt. The how belongs to the state you left behind. The state you now occupy contains its own sequence of events. Do not attempt to plan it. Do not attempt to force it. Simply abide in the feeling that it is already done, and allow life to orchestrate the means. The bridge of incidents will appear, and you will walk across it naturally, often without even noticing, until you stand in your fulfilled desire. This is why I say you are nearer than you think, because the distance is not measured in miles or in months. It is measured only in acceptance. The moment you accept it as real within, you have already arrived. The world is only catching up. Guard your inner conversation, for it reveals what you have accepted. If you find yourself saying, it has not come, you have left your state. Return at once. How? By assuming again the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Let that be your dwelling place. Do not visit it. Live there. Make it the tone of your inner speech. Make it the background of your day. Speak from it. Think from it. React from it. And the world will echo your new tone. And when doubts arise, and they will, do not fight them. Fighting doubt only strengthens it. Instead, gently turn again to your inner knowing. Remind yourself, this is already done. Feel it true and rest. Faith is not loud. Faith is quiet. Faith does not strain. It knows. And because it knows, it rests. So tonight I urge you, stop looking for signs. Stop waiting for proof. Become the proof. Be so inwardly convinced that you walk as though your desire were already the present fact of your life. If you will do this faithfully, without compromise, the world must conform. It has no choice. It is only the mirror. And when the mirror shows your new reflection, you will know that the silent evidence was real all along. This is the law of assumption. This is the secret of creation. What you accept as true within yourself, though unseen by all, is silently shaping your world. Trust the silence, rest in the knowing, and let the world catch up to who you already are. 6. The silence between appearances. There is a silence, my friends, that stands between the moment you assume your desire fulfilled and the moment it becomes visible. And if you do not understand this silence, you will abandon your vision just as it begins to take shape. Most people do. They imagine a thing once. They feel the thrill of its reality for a fleeting moment. And then they open their eyes to the unchanged world and conclude nothing happened. But what they call nothing is the sacred interval in which the unseen is arranging itself. Creation is not loud. It does not come with trumpets. It whispers. The mighty oak does not crash into existence. It emerges in stillness from the invisible life of the seed. And your desire too is a seed. The moment you accept it as real, you have planted it. But the world of sense is slow. It trails behind imagination. If you judge by appearances during this sacred interval, you will uproot the seed and call it failure. I tell you, the silence is not absence. The silence is gestation. It is the invisible movement that precedes visible form. The world sees nothing, but you must see everything. You must see what is not yet seen. This is the art of faith. Faith is not a reaction to evidence. Faith is the evidence, the very feeling of knowing that it is done, that quiet certainty that settles upon you when you have dared to assume the end, is the true sign of things hoped for. Yet this silence is where most abandon their dreams. They look out and see no change, and they say, it didn't work. They do not understand that the outer world is like an echo. It cannot speak until the original sound has gone forth. When you send out a new assumption, it must travel through the depths of your being, reorganizing the currents of your life before it can return as visible fact. This takes what the world calls time, but it is not time. It is sequence. Do not be fooled by the apparent stillness. Still waters are deep waters. The seed that seems dormant is gathering force. The silence between appearances is full of movement, though the senses cannot perceive it. Imagine a great stage play. The curtain falls at the end of one scene. The stage is dark. The audience sees nothing, and many think nothing is happening. Yet behind the curtain, the entire set is being changed. Walls are moved, props rearranged, actors taking new positions. Then the curtain rises, and a new world stands revealed. So it is with your life. When you dare to assume a new state, the curtain of the senses falls and the set of your world begins to change behind it. You see only the darkness, and if you mistake that darkness for nothingness, you will run from the theater before the next scene begins. Stay in your seat. Hold your assumption. The curtain will rise. This is why I tell you not to chase signs. The need for signs is the confession of doubt. Signs come, but they come after. They follow belief, not precede it. If you demand proof first, you are saying you do not yet believe. And what you do not believe cannot be made manifest. Believe and signs will follow. Persist and facts will fall. The world cannot resist the pressure of a sustained assumption. And I say sustained because the silence will test you. It will whisper, perhaps it is not working. Perhaps you are wrong. Look, nothing has changed. Do not answer that voice with argument. Do not fight it. Fighting doubt gives it life. Simply turn again to your vision and dwell in it. Feel the end as real. Speak inwardly from it. Let the tone of your inner speech be, it is done. Each time doubt arises, return to that tone. This is the practice. Understand this. The silence is not punishment. It is not delay. It is not resistance. It is mercy. It is the orderly unfolding of what you have accepted. If every thought appeared instantly, you would live in chaos. The silence allows only those assumptions which are firmly held to mature into fact. It filters the fleeting from the fixed. It asks, do you really want this? And if you answer by persistence, it gives it to you. So bless the silence. Call it holy. Rejoice when the world appears unchanged, for it means the seed is still safely buried. If you could see the intricate orchestration being set in motion on your behalf, you would not doubt for a moment. People you have not yet met are being moved. Circumstances you cannot imagine are aligning. Paths you do not know exist are forming. All while you sit quietly and dare to believe. Do not let the old world pull you back. It will try. It will present you with the same faces, the same problems, the same echoes of yesterday. Smile at them. They are phantoms. They are already dead. They are the shadows of the state you have left. If you respond to them as though they were still alive, you resurrect them. But if you ignore them, if you hold fast to your new state, they fade, and your new world emerges. This is why I say do not seek to fix the outer. Fix the inner, and the outer will repair itself. The silence between appearances is your workshop. It is the womb of your world. Enter it daily. Close your eyes and dwell in the end. Feel it natural. See what you would see. Hear what you would hear. Touch what you would touch if it were true. Let the senses of your imagination replace the evidence of your outer eyes. This is the true vision. And when you rise from that inner world, carry its tone with you. Walk as though it were already done. Speak as though it were already yours. Do not explain yourself to anyone. The world will not understand, and it does not need to. You are not trying to convince them. You are convincing yourself. And when you are convinced, the world is compelled to reflect it. I tell you, the silence is not your enemy. It is your proof. It proves that you have left the old state, and the old world is dissolving. It proves that the new is forming, though unseen. Wait for it as a woman waits for the birth of her child. Not with anxiety, but with quiet expectancy. She does not doubt the child is coming. She feels it. She knows it. She rests. That is how you must wait, in the stillness of certainty. So tonight, if you stand in that silence, rejoice. Do not say nothing is happening. Say everything is happening, though I see it not. Refuse to measure with the senses. Refuse to be swayed by delay. The silence is not delay. It is preparation. Hold your vision. Guard your assumption. And when the curtain rises, when the set is changed, when the actors take their places, you will stand in awe and say, I did not see how it would come. But it came. And you will know that it came because it had to. Because you persisted through the silence. Because you trusted what the world could not see. Because you believed without proof. And that, my friends, is the only way anything is ever born into this world. Persist in the silence, and the silence will sing. Persist in the unseen, and the unseen will become seen. And then you will know with unshakable certainty that you were never waiting at all. You were becoming. 7. The subtle shift of identity. When you understand this great law, you will see that your world is not moved by effort, by struggle, by endless striving. It is moved by identity. Everything you call your life is nothing more than the shadow cast by who you believe yourself to be. And I do not mean who you tell others you are. I mean who you know yourself to be when you are alone and silent. That secret self is the cause. The outer world is its echo. If you try to change the echo without changing the source, you will fail. This is why so many work tirelessly yet remain bound to the same circumstances. They polish the shadow, but they do not touch the substance. They rearrange the furniture in the same old house, but they never move to a new dwelling within. And so the scenery shifts a little, but the story never changes. You are not here to fix the outer scene. You are here to assume a new identity. The world bends to the one who knows who he is. Not hopes, not wishes, knows. And this knowing is not arrogance. It is not boast. It is a quiet, inward conviction. I am this. That is the creative act. The very words I am are the name of God. When you speak them inwardly and clothe them with feeling, you call forth worlds. Most people approach their desires as beggars. They say, I want, which is the language of separation. Wanting declares that the thing is absent. But to assume identity is to say, I am. And when you say, I am, you unite yourself with your desire. You cease reaching for it, and you begin living from it. That subtle shift from reaching to resting, from hoping to being, is the only bridge between where you are and where you long to be. Do you see now why you are closer than you think? The distance between you and your dream is not measured in miles or months. It is measured in identity. And identity changes in an instant. You do not climb to it. You do not earn it. You assume it. You dare to say, I am it, before the evidence appears. And because the world must mirror your self-concept, it rearranges itself to make your declaration true. But hear me well. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot secretly hold on to your old identity and expect the new to appear. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. If you say I am wealthy while inwardly clinging to I am struggling, you are divided and the outer world reflects that division. You must die to the old self. You must let it fall away like a garment that no longer fits. And this death is not painful, it is liberation. Do not wait for permission to become who you desire to be. No one will grant it. The world will not announce, now you may step into your greatness. The world waits for you to announce it. It waits for you to quietly, inwardly accept, I am this now. That acceptance, though invisible, is thunder in the unseen. It sets forces in motion that no man can stop. You ask, but how do I assume a new identity? By living inwardly as though it were already yours. Take it in imagination. Speak from it. Think from it. Feel from it. When old thoughts arise that contradict it, do not wrestle with them. Simply replace them. Turn again to your chosen state and dwell there. Identity is shaped by repetition, not struggle. Each time you return to your new self, you strengthen it. Each time you entertain the old, you weaken it. And remember this, identity is not something you build, it is something you accept. The artist does not create the figure from the marble, he releases it. He removes what does not belong until the figure that was always there stands revealed. So too must you remove from your mind all that denies your desired self. The new identity is already within you waiting. You do not create it. You unveil it. This unveiling often feels strange at first. The old self will whisper, this is not who you are. It will try to lure you back to familiar suffering. Do not listen. The discomfort is proof you are leaving the known. Growth always feels like unfamiliarity. Wear the new identity anyway, as a garment that is slightly too large, and soon it will fit, as though it were your very skin. Do not concern yourself with how the world will accept your new self. The world has no choice, it mirrors you. If you persist in your assumption, those around you will be compelled to treat you in harmony with it, though they know not why. You will see their behavior change, their words change, their attitude shift, and you will understand they are responding to the change in you. This is the great secret. You do not change others, you change yourself, and others cannot help but reflect. The tyrant becomes kind, the closed door opens, the impossible yields, all because you dared to say I am. Do not attempt to force results on the outside, that is the way of the world, and it leads to frustration. Withdraw within, claim your new self, abide in it. The outer must conform, even your body will obey. It is not separate from mind, it is shaped by your concept of self. When you assume the feeling of radiant health, the body begins to move in harmony with that assumption. When you assume vitality, your energy rises. When you assume beauty, your posture changes, your tone changes, your very presence shifts. The body is clay, identity is the sculptor. And let me tell you this, the shift of identity is not always marked by fireworks. Often it is subtle. One day you notice that your inner tone has changed. You are no longer pleading, you are proclaiming. You are no longer hoping, you are knowing. And in that quiet knowing, everything begins to bend toward you. Opportunities appear, coincidences multiply, doors that were closed swing wide. The world which seemed immovable begins to dance. Do not rush this process. Do not demand immediate proof. You are not building a house of cards. You are laying a new foundation. Identity must settle into the depths of your being before it can project as your world. Trust the process. Return again and again to the inner declaration, I am this now. Let it soak into you until it becomes natural, until you forget that you ever were anything else. That is the moment creation is complete. And when the outer catches up, and it will, you will see that it was not a long journey at all. The distance between your old life and your new is no greater than the distance between one thought and another. One inner declaration, sincerely accepted, can overturn years of seeming reality. The world is clay. Identity is the fire that hardens it into form. So tonight, if you would change your world, do not begin with action. Begin with being. Close your eyes and dare to say, I am what I have long desired to be. Let the feeling of it fill you. Walk in it. Speak from it. Live as though it were already true. And do this not for one night, not for 1 hour, but until it becomes natural. For when it is natural, it is inevitable. And then you will see what few ever see, that nothing stood between you and your dream but the old idea of who you were. You were never far. You were only misnamed. The moment you renamed yourself, the world bowed to your new name. This is the power given to every one of you. Use it.
Assume the identity of your desire, and the world will rush to make it flesh.
8. The invisible bridge between desire and fulfillment. My friends, if you will but grasp what I am saying tonight, your life will never be the same. You stand at the edge of your desire, and you say, but I do not see the way. And I say to you, the way is not to be seen with the eyes of flesh. The way is revealed only to the inner eye, the eye of imagination. You are closer to your dreams than you think. For the bridge that spans the gulf between where you stand and where you would be is invisible, and yet it is real. The moment you accept the reality of your desire, even before you can see any evidence of it in the outer world, you have already stepped upon that bridge. Every act of inner acceptance is a step taken across it. But because you are accustomed to judging by appearances, you declare nothing is happening, and I tell you something is happening. More profound than you know. The unseen currents are rearranging themselves to bear you to the fulfillment of your dream. You must cease trying to figure out the manner of its unfolding. That is not your task. Your task is simply to know where you are going, and to walk there in imagination. Do not stand on the shore of longing, staring at the waves, wondering how the sea will part. Enter the sea in your mind, and you will find the waters part as you walk. The bridge rises under your feet as you step, though you do not see it until you have crossed. Let me give you this principle. Imagination creates reality and faith sustains the unseen until it appears. The bridge of incidents, the series of outer events that carry you to your fulfilled state, are not to be devised by you. They are assembled by a wisdom deeper than your conscious mind. When you assume the state of your desire, that assumption sets in motion all things necessary to bring it to pass. People you have not met will move toward you. Doors you did not know existed will open. Circumstances you could not predict will conspire for your good. But if you keep checking the outer world, seeking proof before you believe, you will remain where you are. For proof does not precede belief, it follows it. The moment you accept this law, you will walk as though the thing were already so. That is the posture of faith. You carry yourself as one who knows, not as one who waits. And the world will reflect that knowing. You see, there are infinite states in this world, infinite realities existing now, like radio frequencies all occupying the same space, yet unheard until you tune in. Your desire is already a reality in that unseen dimension. You are not trying to create it. You are selecting it. And the moment you select it with feeling, you have entered it. The bridge then rises to carry you from this state to that one. You do not need to strain or strive. Effort belongs to the man who believes he must build the bridge himself. But the man who understands this law rests in the knowing that the bridge is already there. He walks as though he were already at the end. And as he walks, things arrange themselves quietly, naturally, inevitably. Do not concern yourself with how long it takes. Time is only the measure of your doubt. The more you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the shorter the bridge becomes. You collapse time by living from the end. That is how you draw the unseen future into the now. So I tell you, tonight, take your attention away from the absence of your desire. Stop rehearsing the reasons why it cannot be. Stop conferring reality upon the obstacles. They have no life except the life you give them. Instead, give life to the end you desire. See it vividly. Feel it deeply. Let it be more real to you than what your eyes now behold, and then rest. For the bridge is sure. The outer world will try to contradict you. It will say, look, nothing has changed. Smile at it, for you know that appearances always lag behind the unseen. The seed does not sprout the moment you plant it, yet you do not doubt it is growing. So it is with the seed of your assumption. Plant it, water it with feeling, and walk on. Perhaps someone here tonight is longing for healing. You say, but I still feel the pain. I say, stop measuring the pain and start feeling the wholeness. Imagine yourself leaping from your bed with ease. Hear a friend say, you look wonderful. Accept it as done. Though your body may still show the old condition, your acceptance has already crossed the bridge. And soon your body will conform. Perhaps another here is longing for financial freedom. You look at your bank account and tremble. Stop looking at it. Look instead at the world through the eyes of abundance. See yourself paying your bills with ease, giving freely, receiving joyfully. Assume the feeling of wealth now, and you will have crossed the invisible bridge. The outer figures must rearrange themselves to match your new state. Whatever your desire may be, the law is the same. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and persist in that assumption until it hardens into fact. The bridge will appear, though you will not recognize it as a bridge. It may look like trouble at first. It may look like loss.
But if you remain faithful, you will see that even the seeming setback was the bridge in disguise, carrying you to your end. Do not resist the bridge of incidents. Do not try to steer it. Simply hold the end, and the means will serve you. Say to yourself, I am already there. And let the world rearrange itself around your conviction, for it will. You are closer to your dreams than you think. They are pressing at the door of your present moment, waiting for your consent to enter. Consent with feeling, and they are yours. Step onto the invisible bridge tonight. Walk by faith, not by sight, and you will find yourself, sooner than you believe, standing in the very scene you once only imagined. This is the law, this is the promise, and this, my friends, is the secret path from desire to fulfillment.
Name the sacred art of remaining faithful to the end. My friends, hear me well tonight. The greatest challenge is not in imagining the end, but in remaining faithful to it when the evidence of the senses cries out against you. Anyone can close their eyes for a fleeting moment and picture a dream fulfilled, but the true art lies in dwelling in that state and refusing to be moved, though the outer world seems to deny it with every breath. That is the test of faith. Faith is loyalty to the unseen. It is steadfastness to what is not yet visible. It is to say within yourself, though nothing around me reflects it, I know it is done, and to continue walking as though it were so. This is the furnace where dreams are forged into reality, not in the moment of imagining alone, but in the days that follow, when doubt whispers and appearances mock you. Understand this. The world is a mirror, and mirrors show only what is placed before them. If you stand before the mirror of life and cry, why will you not change? It is because you have not yet changed what you are presenting to it. The mirror cannot show you wealth if you present poverty. It cannot show you love if you present loneliness. You must change the inner state and persist in that change until the mirror reflects. This persistence is the secret. Imagination sets the seed, but faithfulness grows it. The seed does not bloom in the same hour it is planted. There is an interval, what the ancients called the appointed hour. Between sowing and reaping, you will be tempted to doubt. This is the wilderness where many turn back. They plant the seed of assumption, but when nothing appears after a few days, they uproot it with fear. And I tell you, nothing can grow in soil that is constantly disturbed. The inner state must be guarded. You must water it with feeling and protect it from the weeds of doubt. How do you do this? By refusing to entertain opposing states, by denying reality to anything that contradicts your desire, by living as though your dream were already the present fact. You may say, but what if the outer world shows the very opposite? That is when your faith is most potent. That is when you must hold to the end with the greatest intensity. If the storm rages, you do not abandon the helm. You grip it more firmly. So when the world screams impossible, you close the door of your mind and whisper, it is done. Your imagination must become your dwelling place, not your occasional escape. Most men use imagination as a holiday from reality. They visit their dream for a few minutes and then return to their fears. But you must reverse this. You must make your dream the reality and let the outer world become the fleeting shadow. Live more in your unseen vision than in the seen. That is the posture of the awakened soul. Let me remind you, your present world is the result of your past assumptions. It has no authority over what you now assume. The past does not have the power to dictate your future, unless you give it that power by continuing to identify with it. So if the past whispers you've always failed, answer, that man is dead. If it says, you have never known love, answer, that man no longer lives here. Clothe yourself in the new man and persist until you feel at home in him. Persistence is not struggle. It is quiet determination. It is not frantic effort, but serene fidelity. Imagine a bride waiting for her beloved to return from a distant land. She prepares the home. She sets the table. She keeps her lamp lit, not because she sees him, but because she knows he is coming. That is faith. That is the spirit with which you must hold to your fulfilled desire. Do not look for signs. Signs follow. They do not precede. When you go to the train station to meet a friend, you do not stand in the lobby searching for evidence he is on the way. You know he is coming because he told you so, and you act accordingly. So with your desire, it is already set in motion. The promise is sure. Your part is to remain loyal to it. And if you falter, if doubt slips in, as it will from time to time, do not condemn yourself. Simply return at once to the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Reaffirm it gently but firmly, and dwell there again. Each time you return,
You strengthen the bridge between your present and your desire. Each time you linger in the end, the old state grows weaker and the new grows stronger. Some of you here tonight may have been holding a vision for months, even years, and you say, but nothing has changed. I tell you, something has changed you, and when you are changed, the world must follow. The outer cannot resist the inner forever. The law is absolute. What you are within will be mirrored without. Remain faithful, and the world will bow to your assumption. Do not measure the time. That is the snare of the senses. Time is the servant of your faith, not its master. When you remain faithful, time compresses. What might have taken years can appear in days. But if you keep peering at the clock, you will delay your own harvest. Forget time. Live in the end and let time arrange itself around your conviction. There is a stillness that comes when you are truly faithful. You cease striving. You stop asking when or how. You simply know. And that knowing is the power that moves mountains. The outer world must yield to the man who knows. It cannot resist him, for he has already claimed his place in the unseen, and the seen must obey. So tonight I say to you, remain faithful. Guard the seed. Do not let the storms uproot it. Do not let appearances sway you. When the senses shout not yet, answer quietly, already done. When the world laughs, smile and walk on. Your fidelity to the unseen will call it forth. You are closer to your dreams than you think, closer than your next breath. Do not abandon them on the brink of their birth. Hold them as a mother holds her child, tender yet unyielding. And soon, what you once saw only in imagination will stand solid before you, undeniable and real. Remain faithful, my friends. That is the key. Remain faithful, and you will see.
Ken, the fulfillment is already yours. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight I bring you to the very heart of the matter. You have heard the principles, the laws, the unseen movements that govern the world of your desire. You are being guided through imagination, faith, assumption, and persistence. And now in this final teaching, I tell you plainly, the fulfillment of your dreams is not somewhere out there. It is already yours. The gap you perceive, the waiting you feel, is a product of your senses. Your senses always speak of absence, of delay, of lack, but they are not your master. They are the echo of your past assumptions. Listen carefully. The moment you assume the end is real, the world outside must follow. Nothing can resist the inner conviction of a soul that knows itself to be what it desires. And so I ask you, why do you continue to look outward for proof when the proof is within? Why do you measure by appearances when appearances are born of past state? The fulfillment exists now, not tomorrow, not in some far-off time, but in the dimension of consciousness that you occupy at this moment. This is the great secret that men have forgotten. There is no distance between you and your desire except that which you imagine. There is no time between assumption and manifestation except that which you allow through doubt. The law is immediate. The law is absolute. The universe cannot resist a state assumed as true. When you claim it, the world must yield. And yet so many linger in hesitation, walking in shadows, saying, I am not there yet, when the truth is that they have already crossed the line. I tell you tonight that the fulfilled state is closer than your next breath. It waits for your attention, for your recognition, for your assumption. You need not climb a ladder, run a race, or struggle against the currents of life. You need only enter the state inwardly, dwell in it, feel it, and accept it. That is all. And the outer world, powerless to resist your inner knowing, must conform. Do not seek outward signs. They are only echoes. They will come, but they follow, not lead. The inner state is the cause. The outer is the effect. Your work is to live as the cause, to dwell in it, to be it fully and completely. Feel the end, act from it, speak from it, and the manifestation will unfold. The world cannot resist you when you walk from the end. Now hear me on a subtle point. Many fail not because they do not know the law, but because they try to bend the law to their will. They say, I will assume, but I must also plan. They say, I will imagine, but I must also struggle. And in doing so, they dilute their assumption. The law requires complete surrender. The fulfilled state is yours only when you cease to struggle against the unseen, only when you accept it as already accomplished, fully, without reservation. Let me give you a practical image. Imagine a man who desires to be a great artist. He closes his eyes and sees himself painting, not as a novice, not as one struggling, but as a master whose work is complete, whose exhibition is already open. He does not say, I hope to be this someday. He lives as though he is already it, and then he opens his eyes. He paints naturally, effortlessly, inspired by the state he occupies. The outer world, the critics, the patrons, the opportunities begins to reflect what he has assumed. The law cannot resist it. The same is true for love, for health,
for wealth, for peace. Assume the state fully, enter it, dwell in it, let the outer world catch up. Persist quietly, without anxiety, without doubt, without looking back. Your fidelity to the inner state is the force that transforms the unseen into the seen. Many ask, but how long will it take? I say to you, long is measured by doubt, by uncertainty, by resistance. Short is measured by faith, by persistence, by total acceptance. When you rest fully in the end, the manifestation is immediate in the unseen. When you cling to the past, the seed must fight to break through hardened soil. It is not the law that is slow, it is the human mind that delays itself. And now the final revelation, the fulfillment does not come to you. It is already yours. You do not move toward it. You move into it. You are not reaching outward. You are reaching inward. The world is merely the reflection of the state you occupy. Change your state, and the world must reflect it. Persist in that state, and the reflection becomes permanent. This is the law of identical harvest. You reap what you sow, but you sow only what you assume. So tonight, I urge you, enter your fulfilled state now. Do not delay. Do not reason. Do not negotiate with appearances. Close your eyes, see the end, feel the end, and live from it. Speak, think, act and move as though the desire is your present reality. Let this become your daily practice, your constant dwelling, your sacred art, and you will find that the outer world cannot resist you, that everything aligns, that every obstacle bends, and that every seeming impossibility falls away. Do not look back, do not question, do not wait for signs. The fulfillment is already yours, awaiting only your acknowledgement. And when you acknowledge it fully, the world like a mirror will show you what has always been true. You will see that you were never distant from your dreams. You were only misaligned with them in thought. Align yourself now. Assume the end. Persist in the state. Walk in it daily. And the miraculous, though it seems sudden, is merely the outer catching up with the inner. Remember this, my friends. You are never far from what you desire. The distance is always an illusion, maintained by doubt, delay, and the tyranny of appearances. When you cease to be deceived by the senses, when you dwell fully in the end, when you assume and persist, you will realize what I have long told you. The fulfillment is not coming, it is already here. And so tonight, I leave you with this, your dreams, your desires, your highest visions, your most secret longings. They are not distant, they are not beyond reach, they are yours now, waiting for the recognition, waiting for the assumption, waiting for the inner obedience to truth. Enter it fully, live it fully, persist in it quietly, and the world powerless to resist will become the faithful reflection of your inner knowing. The fulfillment is already yours. Step into it, walk in it, be it, and the universe must yield. This is the law. This is the truth. This is your inheritance.